it's Natalie, and welcome to my channel, Find Joy in the Journey. Today, I decided to try out this recipe that I found on another YouTube channel, and it's for 2-ingredient biscuits. So, I'm having some work done in the house. I know I told you guys that, but I decided to clear off some space in the kitchen and try my hand at making these 2-ingredient biscuits. The ingredients you will need will be self-rising flour and heavy whipping cream. And those are the 2 ingredients. It's as simple as that. But you'll also need some shortening. I have a rolling pin, and you don't need a rolling pin. You can just flatten them by hand. But I'm going to use a rolling pin. I have my bowl to do the mixing in. And then I have a strainer and another bowl because I'm going to take that flour and sift it so it can be light and airy and fluffy. So that makes for a light, airy, fluffy biscuit. Okay? So I'm going to get started. And I'm going to see if I can position this camera so you can see everything that I'm doing. All right, guys. Okay. Like I said, you guys, I'm having some work done in the house, so you're going to see a lot of clutter off to the side over here. Because we had to shift things around. We're having our floors done. So, let's get started on these 2-ingredient biscuits. The first ingredient is flour. Okay? It is self-rising flour, and it calls for 2 cups. Here's the first cup, but I am going to sift it. So I may have to measure it out again. Okay? Because sometimes when you sift something that's been packed like this, let's see, it makes a difference. Let's see, just a little bit more, because it wasn't completely full. All right. All right. And then I'm going to need some extra flour anyway, because I'm going to need to flour my surface so I can roll the biscuits out. Okay. My time. All right. Put this aside for a second. Now, so I'm going to measure it out again. Level it off. 2 cups of flour. Okay. And then it calls for, and I have my little recipe right here. 2 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. First cup, and then the 1/2 cup. I have to get more heavy whipping cream because I'm going to make some homemade butter soon. All right. Okay, you guys. You can use, we have the flour and the heavy whipping cream. You can use a spoon or a spatula, but I have my little mixing thing that I use for my bread. So I'm going to use that instead. I love this little thing. It came as a set. I have a cutter, a dough cutter and scraper, and then this little mixing paddle here too. So I'm trying to keep, I have my gloves just in case I do have to get in there with my hands. I have another glove over there. But I'm going to try to use just this little apparatus right here. This has become one of my favorite kitchen tools. And not only that, once it's clean, I'll let you take a look at it. It has, it's very sticky. The dough is going to be real sticky. I feel like I may need a little more heavy whipping cream because this This dough is kind of dry. I'm going to keep mixing a little bit and see. I don't want to go against the recipe, but this seems dry to me. Okay, I'm going to use my hand so I can get in there and feel it. Look, just like how I am outside in the garden. And I'm always talking about how I like to do things with my hands because I can really get a feel for it, for things. Same thing in the kitchen. Okay, no. It needs a little more liquid. So I'm going to add just a dash more of this heavy whipping cream. Just a touch. All right. Make sure it's mixed together well. That did it. Just that little touch of heavy whipping cream did it. It was way too dry. That happens sometimes. Okay, now it's the consistency I feel like it should be for biscuit dough. Now, this isn't my first time making homemade biscuits. It's just my first time using this recipe for 2-ingredient biscuits. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm about to do now. I'm going to get my little pastry sheet and start working with the dough like that, okay? Okay, so I got out my little pastry mat here. Put a little flour to work the dough in. There we go. And I'll probably need, I don't want to manipulate the dough too much because that'll make it too hard. I remember my mother telling me that. It's like you don't want to knead your dough too much, especially when you're making biscuits. Now, when you're making bread, I noticed that it requires a lot of kneading, but not so much with biscuit dough. Okay. Oops. Maybe I should get my big rolling pin. But I think I'll be okay with this one. All right. Gonna make a dozen. So let's see what we got here. I'll start like this. And look, I don't have a biscuit cutter. I don't know where my biscuit cutter is. I'm being honest, okay? So I might have to use the old-fashioned way like my mama did. Use a cup. Okay, you guys, I don't have a biscuit cutter. So you know what's about to happen. That's going to be a whole shopping trip. Okay? I can't believe I don't have a biscuit cutter. Oh, before I get started, I forgot. The shortening. The only reason you need this shortening is to grease your baking pan. Yep. Okay, let me show you a little trick I do. I know I have a glove on, but I'm going to be using the glove. I have a glove on, but I'm going to be using the glove to work with the biscuits. So I'm going to use a little Ziploc bag. Okay? Put a little shortening on the Ziploc bag here. And I'm going to grease this pan. I'm using a glass dish here, which normally I don't use it for baking, but I've noticed a lot of people doing that. And I just, it looks good to see your bread or your whatever you're cooking rise in this little glass dish. I'm making sure it is good and greased. So yeah, I decided to bring out my glass dish. Okay, it's good and covered. Alright, and look. Ta-da! Done with that. covered in shortening. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to use this, dip it in a little flour here. I'm going to cut my biscuits. These are going to be huge biscuits. Okay. And someone else said, just go straight down. Don't twist. Because, okay. But I'm going to twist a little bit. That's how I'm used to doing it. I'm making what they call big old cat head biscuits. You see the size of this cup? These are going to be extra big biscuits. So guess what? I may not be able to make a dozen. Put it that way. See, I'm going to take this and I'm going to refold that and roll it out and make some more. I might be able to get maybe 9. Okay, but that's my biscuit. I think Mama would be proud. I don't think I'll be able to get them. These are large biscuits, y'all. Let's see. Oh, gosh. You know what? We're going to roll with it. Okay. And then I'm going to flatten this back out. I'm trying not to use my bare hand, I'm telling you. Okay, and I don't want to work the dough too much. That's just my opinion. That's not what she said in her recipe. I'm following her instructions, but I'm kind of, like I said, I do cook and bake a little bit myself. So when you're using someone else's recipe, you can kind of do things your way, you know? Like I said, excuse that mess in the back. The bedrooms are in the living room, okay? Everything is a mess right now. So bless our mess. Look, even to get a sense of normalcy, to keep a sense of normalcy, let's put it that way, I have been making sure I don't disrupt, especially my sons, their lives too much. I made sure that they had, because their room was done first, so I made sure that they had a nice, comfortable place to sleep, that they had all the stuff that their creature comforts, the stuff that they're used to having, like laptop and cell phone and their chargers and all of that. I had it right there for them so they can, keeps a sense of normalcy. Look, renovations and housework like this can be a headache, but I try to do things where I can keep like a sense of normalcy. Okay, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 biscuits right now. This can be the 8th biscuit. I remember there used to be, if they had dough left over, my mom used to make something she called a hoe cake. Because of the way it's shaped like a hoe. You know how the garden hoe has that curved top and then the flat edge. So that's how it used to look. And so that's why they call it a whole cake. But I also did my research, and it wasn't just called a whole cake for that reason. Look, it's February, Black History Month. Because back in the days, the slaves used to use their whatever utensils they had to cook with. And one of the things that they had available to them was a hoe, a garden hoe. So they used to use those tools, even their gardening tools, to cook with. And I was told that they would take that gardening tool and they would use it almost like a little skillet. That's why they call it a hoe cake, because they used to actually put their food on the garden hoe to cook with. Now, if I'm wrong, okay, forgive me, but I actually read that somewhere or heard that somewhere, okay? Look, I have this little strip left. Trust me, I'm gonna do something with it. Make a little twisty or something. There we go. I'm gonna put that in there. You think I'm kidding? I'm gonna make me a little extra twisty. Look. Ta-ta! Make me a little, and I'm gonna see if I can fit it on here. I may have to put it in a separate pan, but look, we're done. Now, one thing that the lady did in her recipe is she used an egg wash. I'm gonna follow her recipe. I'm gonna make an egg wash. I have never used an egg wash on biscuits before. Bread, yes, but not biscuits. But I'm gonna follow her instructions and I'm gonna do so. Okay, so let me get my egg wash. Okay, you guys, I got me a little extra pan here for my little extra piece. That's not going to waste. You hear me? Okay. I'm gonna cook that. All right, so I have the biscuits. I'm trying not to, let me move this real quick. Just kind of fold it up. I don't want to get flour on the bottom of the pan. I'm trying to keep everything neat because, like I said, I have limited space because of all the stuff, the clutter in the house, right? Okay, so here's the egg wash. Like I said, I've never done it like this before. Comment in the comment section if you've done this, if you've put an egg wash on your biscuits before. I've never done it this way, but that's okay. I've used egg wash on like my rolls and my bread. I've learned how to make bread. It is so much fun to make bread and it tastes so good. And the thing is, I really love bread. So, I mean, I have to be careful because when I really get into something, like when I made that banana pudding, I found a quick and easy banana pudding recipe, where you don't have to make the custard and all of that, which, I mean, that's how I normally do it. I make my homemade custard. You use instant pudding for this banana pudding recipe. So it's so quick and so easy. You can whip up a batch of banana pudding any given at any given moment. It's so quick. So trust me, every other day I was making me some banana pudding. Okay? And that's not good. So I've used the egg wash. So now the oven has been preheating, and I'm gonna go ahead and place this in there. But yeah, if I fall in love with something like making the bread or the banana pudding, I will overdo it. Okay, I will overdo it, especially if it's simple. I will make too much of it, too much of a good thing. All right, so let's put these biscuits in the oven. Let's get this started. Okay, you guys, the biscuits are done. I placed them in an oven. The instructions calls for 450 degrees, and you bake it for 15 to 20 minutes. Because my oven gets really hot, I decided to lower the temperature. I always do. You know how your oven is. You know how it works and how hot your oven gets, so you know if you need to lower the temperature. And so I did. I lowered it at least 25 degrees. Instead of 450, I think I did 425. But you can alter that, the instructions if need be. But look, also my little extra one came out good too. All right, let's take a look at the bottom. I always check the bottom. Look, nice and brown, nice and brown. So you bake them until for 15 to 20 minutes until the tops are golden brown. Okay, so next we're going to add some butter and give it a taste test, right? I melted some butter. You can use margarine also. I like using margarine or a vegetable spread. That works well too. But I had some real butter in the fridge, had a little half stick, so I decided to melt that and use it. Okay. I decided to make a full breakfast. I'm going to scramble some eggs and make some bacon too. So, a little milk. Salt, just a little, because you can always add more, but you can't take it out. And a little pepper. Okay. Okay, have a little dab of grape jelly. So I'm going to give it a taste test and let you know, you guys. Here we go. It's really good, you guys. I like this recipe, and you saw me mix it up in no time at all. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and finish my breakfast, and I will list the ingredients and the instructions for this recipe at the end of the video, okay? You guys enjoy the rest of your day.